Hello everyone on this beautiful sunny evening. Now that I've cleared up surface space in my study, it's only taken 3.5 years, I decided I would do a jigsaw, something I quite liked doing in the past in the days when I seemed to have more time. I have a long cupboard shelf of them stacked up like books. I chose one from the famous Wasgij series. Wasgij, in case you don't know, is jigsaw backwards. A couple of days ago I was starting to regret my choice of puzzles, Wasgij number 9. When all of this is over, if anyone wants this particular puzzle, you can have it, or it's going to a charity shop because I will never want to see it again. I'm now down to getting about 10 pieces a day in place. The challenge with Wasgijs is that you don't know what the final picture is going to be. There are minimal clues provided which are not that helpful. The main clue is the picture on the front of the box. Cartoon characters and figures who are looking out of the picture at something and reacting to it. The answer to the puzzle is what they are seeing. It takes time, something we've got plenty of at the moment. It takes a lot of patience because the jigsaw unravels its meaning at its own pace, and it takes a lot of perseverance. The 1,000 individual pieces do not give the game away easily. It's only when piece number 1,000 is finally in its place is the full picture seen. I suppose it's a bit like what's going on with the dreaded virus. It's hard to see the big picture. It's hard to make sense of the meaning of it, and human beings need to find meaning in what happens so we don't slip into despair. The whole situation is demanding a lot of patience on our part to persevere with the restrictions and with the time we all now have. It's a bit like doing a Wasgij. As one person said to me today, some days it's okay and I just get on with things. Other days I just want to sit and cry. That about sums it up for many of us. We're all feeling it. The 1,000 piece Wasgij brought to my mind a song by Annie Lennox, 1,000 Beautiful Things. Now those of you who have ever come to me to celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation, maybe some of you, may have heard me say something like this. In the same way you've come here with your little list of what you consider are your sins, now for your penance, go away and spend time putting together another list in your mind and heart of all the things you have to be grateful for, and then simply go through the list and say thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. I reckon if any of us do that, we'll soon realise there's quite a long list of those things. I think Annie Lennox's song is probably one of my favourites. I even have some of the lyrics included in a piece of artwork by an artist friend of mine. I asked Mary Dove to include them in her painting for me, which now hangs on the wall up to my left, when I was going through a particularly difficult experience in my life. Annie Lennox herself said her song was about gratitude. She explains, I was coming through a dark period, desperately trying to find some joy, but not finding it, and trying to remind myself what happiness means. I was grasping at straws, trying to find a reason to be cheerful, and then the song arrived. There was some beauty after all. It was like a little mantra to remind myself to live, breathe, sleep, to try to make your life complete. Beauty is everywhere, in a sunrise, a drop of dew, the warm breath of a child, or a flower opening. That is the sacred gift of life, even if we don't always acknowledge it. COVID-19 has brought another kind of virus in its wake, that of fear and a deep anxiety that can so easily eat away at us. We may not yet have a vaccine for the virus itself, but we can certainly, for ourselves, fight, in a sense, the secondary infection by focusing on the good things we still have and the beauty we see emerging in the world, both far away and nearer to home. In the north of India, people are seeing the Himalayas in the clean air. Some of those people have never seen the famous mountains before now, as the air has been so polluted in the cities they've lived in all their lives. The filthy canals of Venice, I'm sure you've seen, have now cleared, and dolphins are swimming there again. I'm sure you too have seen the images of nature coming out of hiding as various species of animals walk through deserted city streets. Now the noise and rush of human beings has been removed. It seems that nature gets on pretty well without us. An albino squirrel has been spotted and indeed caught on camera to prove it in the woodland near Dean's Reservoir in Livingston, not far from where I live. It is estimated there are only about 50 of these squirrels in the United Kingdom. The fields around schools near where I live are now carpeted with daisies and dandelions that we wouldn't normally see because the fields are cut regularly. Have you ever seen how yellow a dandelion is? It's like a splash of sunlight. This is really good news for bees who depend on dandelions at this time of the year as they go about their busyness. This is great news for the bees, and we know human beings need bees. So much beauty is now emerging, and I guess if we look hard enough and take time and be patient and persevere in the new way of life we're asked to live, eventually our own lists of 1,000 beautiful things will be written. We have so much to be grateful for in this part of the world and in Scotland. Maybe it would be a good thing to start doing now, writing our thank you lists, our gratitude lists, because people are realising we really are in this now for the long haul and as an antidote to depression, which is not good for human emotional well-being. At the heart of Catholic and Orthodox faith particularly is the Eucharist, or Mass. The word Eucharist is a Greek word that simply means thanksgiving or give thanks. And so, at the very heart of faith is gratitude. I know that many are spectating Mass as it's live streamed from many locations in the world, and I do understand the need for that, but it's not the same really. However, what the Eucharist is about, and therefore what people of faith are about, is gratitude, and that can be practiced wherever we are. And to that extent, we are truly celebrating what the Eucharist really is in our own homes and hearts. The Eucharist is not an end in itself. We are meant to become what it is we are celebrating. We are invited to practice gratitude that we ourselves may be the thanksgiving sacrifice. I don't know if you've ever heard Annie Lennox's song, I Think It's Worth It. I think it might be well worth me starting that list of 1,000 beautiful things for myself. Maybe you'd like to also. And in Annie's own words, I thank you for the air to breathe, the heart to beat, the eyes to see again 1,000 beautiful things. There's 3 things already on my list. Only another 997 to go. Thank you for listening to me.